So, horror games. If you've been checking my channel for the past however long it's been, you would know that I have come to love and appreciate this genre. Granted, most of them that I've played have been RPG Maker horror games, but still it counts. But I think I've gotten to the point, and I've played enough, to where I can give you a definitive list of my favorites. Now, this will only be a top 3 because I am horribly indecisive, and because these are the only ones that I really want to go in depth and talk about at the moment. But if there's any others that y'all want me to go in depth on, then I'd sure appreciate it if you left a comment about it. And as to be expected, spoilers for all the games listed here. But nevertheless, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, at spot number 3, we have Silent Hill 2 from 2001. Obviously, this is one of the most popular horror games in video game history. This is one of the most influential games in horror game history. And honestly, it lives up to the hype 100%. It is amazing. It is genuinely so good. But, of course, I can't just say that without explaining nothing to you. So let's get into that. So, you're playing as this guy, James Sunderland. You plays him. He's a 20-some-year-old white guy. His wife's supposedly been dead for 3 years, but somehow, someway, he got a letter from her that is telling him to come to the town of Silent Hill, where they went vacationing. And, you know, most people would look at that letter, see the fact that it's from their dead wife, and turn around and leave. But as we'll come to see, James is not exactly a normal guy. So, of course, he's got to go through the town, figure out what's going on, because Lord knows he knows about as much as we do. Well, maybe not. But nevertheless. First up, I got to talk about the atmosphere. Because this is some of the best that I've seen ever. The fog does wonders for making this town have that weird liminal feel. Like, if I had to describe it, it'd be like, it's like a mix of both uneasy and weirdly cozy, if y'all get what I'm saying. It's like the back rooms before the back rooms, except better. But that's besides the point. The atmosphere, top notch. I don't know if you're gonna find nothing better. Next up, I gotta talk about the monsters, because of course, can't have a survival horror game without monsters. But these ain't your buck standard monsters. These mean something. Each and every detail of these creatures, no matter if they're a basic enemy or a boss fight, every detail represents something about James's mind. Something, somehow, some way. The amount of dedication and the amount of thought and effort and love you had to put into making these things is amazing. It's really respectable. Not to mention, they're of course horrifying fleshy abominations. So, yeah, you got that part going for you. Next, the gameplay. Sure, it's old, it's shown its age. It's got fixed camera angles. The camera's a little wonky. The controls are a little clunky. But I never felt like it hindered me. And that is amazing to say, even for a PS2 game. And not to mention, you ain't exactly defenseless in this town. You got your fair share of weapons. And boy, howdy, I love these weapons. Trust me, if you would have told me before I started playing this game that I would have found a 12 gauge, been able to use it on these monsters, Lord, boy, I would have jumped on this game like nobody's business. And honestly, the combat, it's like, it's not going to be Resident Evil 4. You're not going to be doing backflips on these things. You're just like a random white guy with a shotgun. And it feels like you're a random white guy with a shotgun, fighting through all these ungodly abominations. And it's awesome. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. But of course, I can't go without mentioning the best aspects of Silent Hill 2. That being the characters and the story. So, let's do a quick rundown of the characters, apart from James, because I've already explained him. Laura, a random small child who just so happens to be in Silent Hill. Her story is, well, it's not bad. Heck, it's above average. But she just felt like she always had the least amount of effort put into her. Not to say she doesn't have effort put into her, but it's just the others kind of feel better. Now, Eddie, this fat boy you meet in the apartment building about an hour into the game. He is actually a very good representation of a morally gray character. Well, not exactly morally gray, more like a sympathetic villain. Because you find this kid, he is scared half to death. Of course, that's and that's not mentioning the corpse in his fridge, but that's besides the point. You see this kid, he's scared half to death. He don't know what's going on. You find him later, he's eating pizza. Don't know where he got it, but I ain't gonna question it. And every time you see him, something's off about him. Something's off about his whole demeanor, his whole attitude. He's always denying things, saying, hey, I didn't do it. So of course that makes player suspicious of him. Come to find out he's a lunatic. But it's a lunatic with a sympathetic motivation. That being, he got bullied to heck and back in high school, which, of course, doesn't excuse his actions, any of his actions in the slightest that he does in the game, that being murder. But it's one of the best ways I've seen a game, or any piece of media for that matter, do a character that is both sympathetic but also completely irredeemable. This guy's victim complex has gotten to the point where he has just lost it. He has lost the plot. And it's done so well. Next, we gotta talk about Angela, my second favorite character in the game behind James. She is a girl who has come to Silent Hill looking for her mama, as she says to James in the beginning of the game when you meet her in the graveyard. But of course, like with everybody here, something seems off about her. She's jumpy. She's skittish. She's like a scared golden retriever. But it's like you could tell something happened to this girl. Boy, howdy, something happened to this girl. Something that I don't think I can even talk about on here. But I'm sure you get the idea. Her daddy was a bad man. I'll just say that much. But her story, Lord Almighty, it is heartbreaking. She's just a character that makes you want the best for her. Even if she pushes you away. Even if she kind of gets a little hissy with you. It's like, sure, she might be irrational. She might act irrational at some times. But you can tell she's never actively malicious. Which, that's a thing this game does amazingly well. Morally gray characters. Characters that have good, have bad to them. But they're not necessarily black and white. You can tell. They're not good. They're not bad. They are people. And Angela highlights that amazingly. Next up, Maria. Well, she is one of the most uncomfortable characters that I've ever seen in a game. She isn't outwardly malicious. She isn't actively trying to do anything bad. It's just the little things about her that just unnerve me to no end. And that's the point. You meet her on the docks. She tells James, or asks James, "Do I look like your girlfriend?" Red flag immediately. And she looks suspiciously like James's wife. You know, the one who died. She looks suspiciously close to her. So of course, you're already on edge. But it's just the way she carries herself, the way she speaks. Keep in mind, James is a widower who clearly has not gotten over his dead wife. But this woman has the audacity to try and flirt with him. And like, it just feels icky. That's the best way I can put it. Icky. But it's done in a way that you can tell it's intentional on the part of the developers. They knew what they were doing. And of course, come to find out, that's on purpose. Because Maria is, spoiler alert, a construct of Silent Hill made from James's mind. She is the warped version of the idealized version of James's wife that he cooked up in his head. They took what he wished his wife was, screwed it up, made it a person to mess with him. And that is why she is the way she is. And it's subtle. That's another thing this game does really well. Subtlety with its storytelling. It doesn't go in your face and tell you a lot of things, but you can pick it up from dialogue, from character interactions. This game is amazing with subtle storytelling. Sure, it can be like it explicitly spells stuff out when it needs to, but it just does an equal amount of just not spelling it out for you, letting the player figure it out. It doesn't insult the player's intelligence by exactly explaining these things. And it is amazing for that. Nextly, even if he isn't technically one of the main characters, I gotta talk about Pyramid Head. You know him. Everybody who's played this game knows him. Pyramid Head. This monster is, well, he's pretty much perfect for what he is. He is intimidating. He's just a great big old man with a pyramid on his head. On paper, that doesn't sound scary. But when you see him in game, he is scary. And again, going back to that subtle storytelling, you see Pyramid Head attacking the other monsters. You see him doing things that all the other monsters don't. You see him be different. So you can tell automatically some is up with him. Then, by the penultimate boss fight, James says, I know why I needed you now. So it turns out, Pyramid Head is another representation of James's mind. He is the personification of James's need for punishment. And punishment what for, though? Well, let's get into that. So, you go through the game. You're going through, you're fighting monsters, you're solving puzzles, you're finding all these people. Slowly but surely, things start to not add up about James's wife. First off, of course, the letter. How can a dead woman send a letter? Much less one telling her husband to come look for her. Then, we get little hints through James's dialogue, the way he carries himself. Something ain't quite right with his story. Then, we get to Laura, who really starts, making it more obvious. Because Laura apparently knew James's wife when she was in the hospital and was dying of sickness. And they became friends. But Laura says she talked to Mary, James's wife, only a couple of days ago, when James said she's been dead for 3 years. So who knows? And then, if you keep checking the Mary's letter in your inventory, things slowly start disappearing. First, it's the text. It's blank page. Then it's the paper itself. Then the envelope just vanishes. So maybe the letter wasn't real. And you come to the end. Not all is what it seems. Yes, Mary did have a sickness that was gonna kill her. She got it on vacation in Silent Hill. I don't know, they probably put lead in the water or whatever. But she didn't die 3 years ago. James tried to be a good husband. He tried to take care of her. He tried to be good to her. But the sickness of her, you can tell. You know how people with terminal illnesses are. People in the hospital, they're grouchy, they're mean. And Mary was no different. She got angry with James. She got fight mad with him. And after years and years and years of dealing with it, James couldn't take it no more. And so, out of both a selfless desire to make his wife's pain stop, but also a selfish desire to get his life back. He kills his wife. Shocker. Big shocker. The man you've been following for this whole game. The man who's been looking for his wife. The one that he's continuously proclaimed his love for. The woman that he has gone through hell and high water to get to. He's the one who killed her. But the thing is, the game doesn't tell you if he's good or bad. The game lets you make the decision on whether James Sunderland is a bad man or not. Of course, he did bad things. Nobody's denying that. But this game is a matter of moral complexity. It is a matter of, does doing bad things make you a bad person? Does doing one bad thing make you a bad person? And again, going back to what I said with Angela, this game, it doesn't tell you. It doesn't tell you if James is a good man or a bad man. It just tells you that he is a man. He is a man. He is fallible. He is flawed. He made mistakes. He made the gravest mistake of all. And it's up to the player to decide what his ending is. Now, unlike a lot of other games where the ending is decided by a single decision or little pickups you get, this game's different. The ending you get depends on how you treat James. If you keep him at full health, if you show that you care about his well-being, he gets up, he moves on, he lives, he goes to live another day. But if you do the bare minimum to take care of him, well, I'll just say the outcome isn't as pretty. Silent Hill 2 is a game that, with its story and its characters, challenges the player to think. It is not a clear-cut redemption story, but it can be if you want it to be. It is not a clear-cut story of a bad man getting punished for his actions, but it can be if you want it to be. Silent Hill 2 is a game where you make the decisions and you decide the outcome and you decide whether or not James is a bad man or just a man. And in my humble opinion, that boy, he is just a man. Next, number 2, Doki Doki Literature Club from 2017. Now, this game, don't let it fool you. Don't let nothing about this game fool you. Because on the outside, it looks cutesy. It looks soft. Looks like it's going to be a good time. But boy, howdy, if you think that, you are in for a surprise. And most people who know about this game know it. But if you go in blind, you are in for something. And the game even gives you a warning. But that ain't gonna prepare you for what comes. I will tell you what. But of course, before we get into all that, let's just go over the general look and feel of the game as it is presented. This game is styled after one of those cheesy dating sims. It's supposed to be like a rom-com shoujo anime. And all the characters, well, for the most part, seem to fall into that category. But I will tell you, these characters are deceptively complex. You would not expect them to be as emotionally thought out and with as much love and effort put into them as they have. So let's go through them. Let's go. Of course, we got the first one you meet, Sayori. On the outside, she looks like, all bubbly, happy, all a little ditzy, but she means well. She is the sweetest thing you will ever see. And she is honestly, she is both the happiest part of this game and the saddest. And you will come to find out why. Next, Yuri, my personal favorite. Not half because, her whole aesthetic is purple, and I like purple. But that's besides the point. And also maybe some other things, but that's besides the point. Yuri, she is the shy one. She is the introvert. She's the nerd. Honestly, she's probably somewhere on the spectrum. I have a whole board typed out with the evidence. But again, that's besides the point. Natsuki seems to be first kind of a jerk. And to be honest, she kind of is. But she is more than just that. She is more than just being mean. She has hobbies. She has interests. She has a at-home life. But that's besides the point. Monica, the club president. She is, well, we'll get into that. So, we start out with the first act. You're playing as this random schmuck who he is your average everyday man. Average everyday high school student. Even if he's, again, kind of a jerk. But he gets asked by Sayori to join her and her friend's book club. Just because, I suppose. Because she wanted a friend, I guess. So, we come in. You meet the rest of the gang. Everything seems hunky-dory. And you start writing poems. Because, that's the mechanic of the game. You write poems. And each word that you put in the poem is supposed to appeal to a different one of the characters. Sayori, Yuri, or Natsuki. And you have to decide which one you want your poem to appeal to most. Yeah, it's cheesy. It's kind of goofy. But bear with me. So, everything goes on. You spend more time with the gang, the club. Everything seems fine. Things seems like it's going right as rain. But then the school festival comes up. This is where stuff starts getting a little wonky. Of course, you have to choose between either Natsuki or Yuri, because Sayori decided to sit this one out. But something keeps seeming off with her. A couple days pass. Some things go. Sayori still ain't there. Something's not right. Now you're thinking, hey, isn't this supposed to be a horror game? Well, I'm glad you said that, because we're just getting into that. Turns out, Sayori, well, she is no longer with us. Again, I'm not sure I can speak about this on YouTube. But if you've played the game, you know. And so, after that traumatizing incident, the game crashes. Well, it's kind of a fake crash. Because you open the game back up. The title screen with all 4 of the characters. Sayori's gone. She's glitched all to heck. So you can immediately tell something ain't right. Something's wrong. But against your better judgment, you load up the game. So now we have come to Act 2. And this is where stuff gets weird. This is where everything goes off the rails. So, of course, now with Sayori gone, the club only has 3 members. So instead of Sayori asking you to join, because of course she ain't here to do that, Monica asks you to join so they can officially inaugurate the club. So you come in. Everything seems fine at first. Everything seems like it's going swimmingly, ignoring the fact that one of the club members doesn't exist anymore. But the longer you go, you realize, even when you're writing poems, it locks you into getting into, like, the rep with Yuri. You can't choose Natsuki. And, of course, something is wrong with Yuri. She don't seem right. She seems off, like more, intense, I suppose is the word. She's a little off her rocker, but nevertheless. But, you know, you elect to ignore that, hoping it doesn't come up anything bad. Turns out, Yuri has gone off the rails. She has lost it. Some way, somehow, she is insane now. Like, genuinely scary levels of insane. Which, of course, some people wouldn't mind. Others, not so much. But nevertheless, this escalates. Escalates. And eventually, Yuri ends up dead, too. But it's different from Sayori this time. This time the game don't crash. This time you sit there with her dead. You sit there for about 5 minutes in game time. Like 5 minutes in real world time. But in the game, you sat there for 2 days. Sitting there with a body. And the other 2 come back. Monica and Natsuki. Natsuki's losing it. She is, of course, horrified by the fact that there is a dead body in the middle of the room. But Monica seems so eerily calm. But then you see the command window pop up in the top right, or top left. And characters start getting deleted. You start to figure out what's going on, but the moment you figure it out, game crashes again. You open it back up. There ain't nobody else left. It's just Monica. So, if you were perceptive, you would have noticed that I had elected to not mention Monica whenever I talked about any of the other characters. Or like the choices you can make, choosing them. Thing is, that's intentional. You cannot choose Monica for anything. Not until now. Not until she's the only one left. And you figure out she is the mastermind behind everything. Now, of course, all the girls already had their flaws. Sayori had depression. Yuri was a little obsessive. Natsuki was Natsuki. But Monica, she realized she was in a game. She realized she was never an option. So she did everything in her power to make herself an option. She hyped up every one of their issues to the 11th degree. She did everything she could. She glitched the game. She messed with the code. She screwed everything up just to be a choice. And now, here at the end, it's just Monica. And she don't speak to the main character. She speaks to you, the player, the one sitting at the screen. She talks to you, says your name, asks you things, and she is terrifying. Terrifying in a way I never thought a character like her could be. Now, I forgot to mention all the glitches, but all throughout the game, you get random glitches, random horrifying glitches that tip you off to something being wrong. Screen turning red, characters' eyes and mouths disappearing, dialogue that shouldn't exist. Little things. But at the same time, it's enough to scare the daylights out of you. Now, seeing as you are stuck here with Monica, you have two options. Either you you keep the game like this. There is no going back. You're stuck here. But the second option, you decide to give Monica a taste of her own medicine. You delete her. She is mad. She is fighting bad. Of course. But she gives you one last act of kindness out of the goodness of her heart, which I'm surprised that was in there. She decides to undo everything that she did. All the bad, all the death, all the killing, all the mental stuff that she had did. She decides to undo everything. And And so, the game closes one last time and you open it up one last time. Now, everyone's back except Monica. Where it was just Monica before, now there is no Monica. And if you did all the right stuff, got all the routes, did all the saves coming that you needed to, Sayori thanks you for enjoying the game and for caring. The horror of Doki Doki Literature Club and its greatest strength is that it makes you care. It will make you care about these characters, about their lives, about their stories, and about everything. And then in a moment's notice, it can all just go downhill. This game loves to lull you into a false sense of security right before everything goes to hell in a handbasket. And that is what makes it great. And the extra horror, the real horror, is that there is one who knows too much. And she runs wild with it. But all in all, if you want the best horror visual novel money can buy, well then you got it right here. This is top notch. This is top shelf stuff. You will not be disappointed, I tell you what. Number 1, Omori in 2020. This is not only just my favorite horror game of all time. This is, in my personal opinion, the best game that I have ever played. This game was the first game to make me feel dread, to make me feel fear. Not for myself, but for someone else. This was the first game to really hit me in the heartstrings, and it continues to do so even years after I have finished it. Omori is a game that will stick with you to the end. It is an unforgettable experience. It is something that once you play it, you can't go back. It is the pinnacle of what you can do with RPG Maker. It is genuinely astounding how amazing this game is. But enough with the preamble. Let's get on to the real explanation. So, of course, this will contain major spoilers for the story and the characters of Omori. If you have not played the game, stop here. Go play the game, then come back. This is one game that I will never spoil. This is one game that I will make sure anyone who's interested plays it or watches a playthrough, any of the above. Whatever it takes, experience this game. You will not regret it. But anyways, let's get on with it. So, you play as Omori, this depressed looking boy. You wake up in pure white space, which is quite originally called white space. But you ignore the existential dread and head out home into this world of color, world of whimsy and all sorts. And your friends are here. Kel, the kind of dumb but also sweetheart. Aubrey, the hot-headed but extremely loyal one. Hero, the older one who keeps everyone in line. And, you know, everything seems perfect. Nothing could possibly go wrong. You go out into the park, play a bit of hide and seek, find your buddy Basil, who is a genuine sweetheart. You find your older sister Mari. She loves all of you to death. And you keep playing. Everything seems fine. Nothing seems like it's going wrong. Everything seems perfectly fine. And Basil says, hey, why not come over to my house? You know, we'll go through my photo album, go through all the old memories. So you do. Then you find this one photo. Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows who took it. But Basil seems to know something. Something we don't. And that's when everything goes to heck. But no time for that. You wake up. All that before, all that color and whimsy and joy was a dream. A dream dreamed up by a boy named Sonny. He's been a shut-in for 4 years. Something messed up this boy so badly that he ain't left the house in 4 years. But this is the day that changes. He hears a knock at the door. But guess who it is? It's Kel. The dumb sweetheart from way back when. He's all grown up now. Turns out, all the versions of the people you saw in the dream world, that's how they were 4 years ago. When they were kids, when everything was happy. But now everyone's grown up. Now they're in high school, doing their things. Kel, he's grown up. He's more mature now, not quite as childish. He's still a little dumb, but his heart's in the right place. And he decided, apparently, he kept deciding to try to get Sonny back out. He kept trying and trying and trying. This day was the one. The one that decided to change everything. So of course this is wondrous. This is wondrous. Almost makes you forget about the horrifying whatever it was back at Basil's house in the dream world. Which that's a thing this game does well. It can jump from tone to tone so well. It can jump from sweet and happy to horrify. But that's beside the point. You go out with Kel. You decide to head on to the park. You find Basil. He's also all grown up. Boy, looks like he's about to die of a heart attack every second. His anxiety's kicked in. But he's getting harassed by this group of hooligans. And their leader looks suspiciously familiar. It's Aubrey, all grown up again. But now she's dyed her hair pink, got blue contacts, got in with the wrong crowd. She's a bit of a punk now, but she's angry at Basil. And everything here just makes you, the player, wonder what happened. The game is so good at drip feeding you information, little bits, pieces of what is going on, that you just can't help but want to know more. You can't help but just want to know what happened, what led to this. But we go past that. Eventually, Sonny goes home. He goes back to sleep. We're back in the dream world, and Basil is gone. So our friends and us get up and set out to go find him. Going through all sorts of wacky worlds. But every step of the way, almost every step of the way, there's just one shadow that keeps on appearing. Like an unpleasant reminder. Never attacks you. Just stands there, being cryptic and creepy. Again, drip feed, make you want to know. But this is where we get into the combat of the game. It's actually pretty neat. It's like, for the most part, it's your standard RPG fare. You know, turn-based battles, healing items, spells, whatnot. But you got this mechanic where you can make either you, your teammates, or your enemies mad, happy, or sad. Each one has different buffs and debuffs. It's all a big thing. It's a lot of fun once you get used to it, but it might be a little jarring for new players. But you get used to it quick. It's fun. It's nice. It's neat. And it doesn't impede on the story to play. You get an enjoyable RPG along with a dang good story. But back to the story, of course. So after another romp in Headspace, the dream world, Sonny wakes up again, goes back out. Basil's photo album has been stolen by Aubrey, so you and Kel gotta go get it back. And you find Aubrey. You go ask all of hooligan buddies where she is. You find her at the church. And, I'm a preacher's son. I go to church. This hit me hard. Aubrey is in church. You'd think a hooligan like her be causing a ruckus. No, she's listening in. She is attentive. She is there for a reason. But Sonny and Kel come in to ask her about the photo album. Of course, her having the short temper that she does. Things escalate and they start fighting. Which, nobody was trying to start a fight. It was all accidental and it just escalated out of hand. That's not the point. The part that really hit me was during the fight in the church. You hear the congregation saying all sorts of things. All sorts of nasty, mean things about Aubrey, about the way she dresses, the way she carries herself. They just about run her out of the church. A girl who was just trying to get some peace got run out of the church. And that stuck with me. That hit me hard because that's something I don't want happen to nobody. But I know it does happen to some people. It's like it made me want to be better. This game does a weird thing where it makes you want to be better. But going past that, you get the photo album back from Aubrey, give it back to Basil. But now Basil learns Sonny is moving away in 3 days. I forgot to mention that part. But, of course, Cal is, he's the one who related. He's fine with it. That's why he got Sonny out. Give him a last couple days of fun before he decided to leave. But Basil had no idea. And he's clearly out of it. Again, it's that drip feed. Something's wrong, but you don't know what. You want to keep playing to find out. Kel also says his brother Hero's coming back from college for the weekend, so they could have one last supper before Sonny leaves. So, of course, in preparation for the big day, Sonny goes back to sleep. Back to Headspace we go. Keep going. Keep learning more. Keep seeing more of what it was like back then. And keep getting more hints to what happened to make it like this. But you keep going. Keep going. Keep going. The Headspace, the Dream World segments seem to be getting longer and longer and longer. It's intentional. The reason the Dream World sequences are getting longer is because Sonny is trying to escape. He's trying to get away from all this trouble, all this strife. But Headspace ain't looking too much better. Everything seems like it's going well. But slowly but surely, everybody starts forgetting about Basil. too sure what it means. But I suppose if you want, you can figure it out. Then wake back up in the real world. Sonny goes out. Kel, they go around for a while. And they decide to stop by their old hangout spot by the lake. But they find Basil getting harassed by Aubrey and her gang again. Of course, they try to intervene and stop it. Now, I will admit, of course, Basil appears to be a bit overreacting. He's thrown into a panic attack just because they're there. But at the same time, Aubrey really ain't making it easy for him. But after a bit, the rest of the hooligans get fed up, leave. Don't want nothing to do with it. So now it's just Aubrey, Kel, Basil, and Sonny. Aubrey is getting mad. She is getting fighting mad. Fighting mad more than she has before any of this. And in an irrational act of just pure rage, she pushes Basil into the lake. She knows he can't swim. She didn't really think about it. She just did. She is horrified at what she has done. But Sonny isn't concerned with that. He jumps in, knowing full well he can't swim neither. For all his flaws, for as much of a shut-in and as much of a silent type as he is, Sonny is a boy who cares. And that's another thing that this game does so well. It makes its characters human. They aren't one note. They aren't just caricatures of themselves. These feel like people. These feel like people. They act irrational. They do dumb stuff. They do things that wouldn't be the best decision. They do it for love, they do it for anger, they do it for friendship, they do it for all sorts of reasons, but it feels human. Everything about it just feels human. And it's amazing. Thankfully, before Sonny and Basil can drown, Hero shows up back from college. Pulls them both out of the water. They get Basil back to his caretaker because his parents are deadbeats, and kill Hero and Sonny. All go over back to Kel's house to have that one last supper. Things seem so happy, so joyous, and so whimsical. But then they decide to go back to Sonny's house. Spend one last night where and Hero finds Mari's old piano. His old time. I have neglected to mention, but I'm sure you probably could have picked up from the fact that I never mentioned him. Mari passed away. That was 4 years ago. That's what happened. Everyone took it differently. Again, that's part of the humanization thing. everyone took it differently. No two characters took Mari's death the same. Makes it feel more real. Makes it feel more human. Like this is actually what would have happened. And it just makes you feel for it. Makes you get emotional. Everything about this game makes you get emotional. At least it does for me. So, of course, it's night. But, and Sonny goes to sleep. Now we're back in the dream world. Sonny, or Maury in this case, has unlocked something called black space. This is the world of all the repressed and hard memories, the things that he does not want to think about. All of it goes down here. Everything down here in black space is surreal. It is horrible. It is unnerving. It is terrifying. But there's one common aspect about this. Basil is in so many of these black space thoughts. And in each one of them that he's in, he dies. And eventually, we come to the church in black space. And go on. And I suppose this is the reveal that Maury is not necessarily just the dream version of Sonny. Maury is the worst version of what Sonny could be. He is all the spite and the loneliness that came with being a shotty. Then Sonny wakes up again. Only a couple days left. And one of Aubrey's hooligan friends are knocking at the door, wondering where she is, what she's doing. Nobody knows. But Kel, Hero, and Sonny take it upon themselves to go check on her. That's another thing I love. This game doesn't necessarily hold grudges unnecessarily. It is a game about forgiveness. And that is something powerful when it's done right. And it is done so right here. Kel, Hero, and Sonny, they didn't have to go check on Aubrey. They didn't have to go check on her, even, especially not after she almost killed Basil. But she's their friend. And they're gonna go check on her. They go check on her. Of course, as you could guess, her home life is bad. But she decides, or they decide to go up, check on her anyway. She didn't steal that photo album to destroy it. She didn't steal Basil's photo album to destroy it. She got all the pictures of Mari. All of the pictures of Mari somehow got blacked out, scribbled out. And Aubrey says that it was Basil. And she's been trying to wash it out ever since. And that's why there's so much resentment and anger. But now she feels horrible about it. But nevertheless, the friends try to cheer her up. They take her to their old treehouse out back behind Sonny's house, where they used to play back in the day. They're going through all their old memories. I said this was a game about forgiveness, but it's also a game about accepting the past, but not living in it. Every character here is accepting the past. Some have lived in it, some have ignored it. But eventually they will all come to accept the past, but to move past it. And that's what Aubrey's doing right here. She realizes how dumb, how stupid, how irrational she was, but decides to let herself be vulnerable. That's another thing. This game lets its characters be vulnerable. You will see characters break down. You will see characters cry, scream, yell, be mad, be distraught, be sad. All the range of emotions. It's that vulnerability that I just appreciate. I forgot to mention one thing back during when I was talking about Black Space. The thing before Black Space, right before you go into Black Space, you find Mari in the dream world. Nobody else is around, it's just Mari. She does some very telling. Eventually, she somewhat, ascends, I suppose you would call it. She tells Sonny she forgives him and that he needs to forgive himself. For what exactly? We ain't figured that out yet, but we'll get there. But back to the real world stuff. After everyone calms Aubrey down, they decide, you know what? This is the last day with Sonny here. We might as well go hang out with Basil one last time. One last time before everything just decides to go to crap. Well, not necessarily go to crap. Before everything changes. So they do. They hang out. Everything seems so perfectly fine. Sonny wakes up in the middle of the night. Basil has been suspiciously avoidant tonight. go in. Basil was having the worst breakdown of his life. That shadow monster that you saw before, he has one too. That shadow monster is the representation of all the trauma and all the guilt. But guilt for what? We will find that soon. Before Sonny woke up in the middle of the night to go check on Basil, he had one of the most telling dreams of this entire game. Picture by picture, he pieces together what happened to Mari. They say it was self-inflicted. That wasn't the truth. The truth of the matter was that it was an accident on the part of Sonny. Her and Sonny got into an argument. Mari was pressuring him too much about something. He got mad like kids do. Pushed her, not realizing until they were at the top of the stairs. She fell. She died. And Sonny's panicking. He didn't want this. Again, another thing. Mari has been set up this whole game as this sweet, caring, almost motherly figure. And here, that image is not exactly shattered, but recontextualized. Mari was never perfect. But it's quite telling that in Sonny's mind, he imagined her as perfect as she was. Even when the real one had her flaws, had her issues. That's another thing. This game is not afraid to give its main characters flaws. Real, detrimental flaws to their character that are a part of them. And I love it. But back to what happened to Mari. She's dead. But guess who comes along? It's Basil. He is just as horrified as Sonny. But while Sonny is busy thinking, panicking about the fact that his sister's dead, Basil, instead of owning up to the accident, instead of letting things play out as they should, he does something horrifying. He stages it. He makes it look self-inflicted. He lies to everyone and ropes Sonny into it. But the thing is, he didn't do it out of being evil or being spiteful or malicious intent. He wanted to help his friend. He was afraid of the consequences and did the only thing he knew how to save him. Even if the way he did it was the worst possible way he could have gone about it. But all the same, that's all in the past now. It's time to face Basil in the real world. So again, we find him in his room having a breakdown. And he is ranting, he is raving. He does not want Sonny to leave. He does not want to be left again like he was 4 years ago. And so enters the fight with Basil. This is not a fight you can win. This is a fight that nobody wins. But all the same, the fight happens. Both parties end up injured and incapacitated. And now Sonny's back in the dream world. One last time. One last rodeo. And right before the big finale, he decides to take a trip down memory lane. Think of the good times. Think that it wasn't so bad. He makes visions of his friends in his mind, which are, I suppose, vessels for his thoughts. Everyone is telling him to keep going, to keep on pushing, that he isn't the one doing something bad doesn't make him evil. It's another thing. Nobody in Omori is evil. None of the characters, not Basil, not Aubrey, not Mari, not Sonny, certainly not Killer Hero. Nobody is evil. They're just human. They have flaws, they make mistakes, they do stupid things. By golly, they're doing their best. And by the end, Sonny gets to fight Omori. The representation of every negative thought that he's ever had. And it beats him down. It tears him. It insults him in every way you possibly can think. But he pushes past. And then comes one of the best finales I have seen in a video game to date. The final duet. Boy, howdy, I'm getting about choked up thinking about it. It is that good. You played the game and you've gotten to this point. You know how good this is. Of course, it's not over. We still got to go back to the real world and figure things out there. So Sonny wakes up in the hospital. And nobody's around him. He's alone again. He didn't let that bother him. He gets up and he goes of his own volition. Something he ain't done for the past 4 years. Gets up and leaves of his own volition to go see his friends. And he sees the Headspace people, the Headspace versions of his friends. But he ignores them. He don't need to drink no more. He's matured beyond it. He goes to see his real friends, the ones that he has now. Not some figment of his imagination. It's not some representation of what was and what could be. He goes to what he has. He tells them the truth. Now, in the final scene of the game, in the true ending, we see the shadow monsters that have haunted Sonny and Basil for so long vanish, gone into thin air. They're gone now. It's over. Secret's out. Now, do we know how everybody reacted? No, of course not. The game leaves it up to you to decide. I've said this is a game about forgiveness. It's a game about friendship. It's a game about so many things, but one of the biggest things this game is about is hope. Hope that even if everything is screwed up, even if everything is horrible, even if things have not gone your way, hope that you can make it better. Hope that you can be better than you were yesterday. Hope that you can leave the past behind and go to a new future. Hope that you can forgive yourself for your transgressions. Hope that you won't wallow in your misery. And hope that you will see a better tomorrow. Omori is a game about hope. And it is the most powerful game I have ever played. It is less a game, more an experience. It will stay with you, and the thing is, the game does have horror. It does have scary elements, but that is not the part that sticks with you. It is the love and care and effort that was put into these characters, this story, this atmosphere, the pastel art style makes everything feel so childlike. Everything about it just, it is amazing. That is all I have to say. It is amazing. This is not only my favorite horror game of all time. This is my favorite game of all time. Well, folks, there you have it. My top 3 horror games of all time. I know I got a little long-winded there at the end, but that just sort of happens when you're passionate. I'm sure y'all understand. And yeah, if the voice work sounds amateurish and kind of shoddy, that's because it is. I'm still new to this. I ain't quite got it down yet, but I'm doing my best. But if you want to see more like this, leave a comment. Engage with the video however you see fit. And I'd appreciate getting some feedback, getting some comments. Because, of course, I like talking to y'all. But nevertheless, this has been Big Bubba. Whatever time you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And God bless you.